the Obama administration's senior advisors who helps push the big government agenda, has set his sights on a much bigger stage, the world. Former Clinton Chief of Staff John Podesta has been working with the United Nations to develop a new global agenda that some say is radical. Joining me now to weigh in on this is Myron Ebell. He's the director of the Center for Energy and Environment at the Competitive Enterprise Institute in Washington. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning, Myron. So give us an outline of how exactly John Podesta, who I think has as much influence on the Obama administration's policies as any other person, on what he's doing with the United Nations now.
While John Podesta was still at the Center for American Progress, which is a very hard left think tank that he started to combat the George W. Bush administration back in 2003, while he was there, John Podesta joined a very high-level UN committee chaired by David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, and two presidents of third world countries. And they've come up with a sustainable development agenda which would, if it were actually implemented, would transform the global economy and make us all a lot poorer.
So Podesta was the only American on this committee. So the only representative from the United States of America was John Podesta, who, and I think you're right to say, is on the hard left on policy. The proposal that they put out said it's critical that the United States join a global sustainability agenda. Why is it critical? What does that mean?
Well, you know, I don't know. John Podesta has several big interests. One of them is using climate policy to raise energy prices and take money out of people's pockets and put government in charge of how much energy you can use. Another one is income redistribution. Now, those conflict because, of course, raising energy prices takes more money out of poor people's pockets than it does wealthy people. And so,
wait, let me just stop right there. Why would the United Nations have any say on how income is distributed in the United States? Aren't we a sovereign country? Why is it their business?
Well, this UN report, like many others, is a take it or leave it thing. It depends on how the United States government reacts to it. Unfortunately, in John Podesta and President Obama, you have two people who believe in this stuff. They believe that the world has to change its wicked ways and stop using so much energy. And so, you know, John Podesta has been brought in to further help President Obama implement his agenda without going to Congress. In other words, through essentially executive fiat.
Right. So, but when you say the world has to stop its wicked ways and stop using so much energy, it's really the United States and the West need to stop using so much energy. It's not China or India or the big polluters. It's us, right?
Well, yes. I mean, as you know, the UN is essentially an organized conspiracy against the United States. And so the fact that we have people in the White House that are enabling that agenda is, I think, should be rather worrying.
Yeah, it certainly is worrying. And the fact that John Podesta is the only American to go to this meeting is pretty shocking. Myron, thanks a lot for joining us.